Hey there cats, good time of the day to you and thank you for tuning into my channel. I was not sure if I actually should record this gameplay, but after thinking a bit about it I decided that this is the best way to go. I'm not sure why, but whenever I searched anything on Google I never really found Patreon posts, you know? So probably Patreon is just hidden from the search results like Discord and other stuff. I'm not sure how that works, but anyway, I decided that the best way to at least somehow showcase this whole modification thing is to make a YouTube video, because my YouTube channel is pretty much the only thing that gains anyhow, you know, gains any kind of, how to say it, of visibility, so to say. Even though I'm not sure who might actually need this video, but let's just do the classic. First I'll go through the short overview describing this game, and then I will describe you the mods that I have to share with you today. So, what we have here today is named Iron Brigade, and it's a game by DoubleFine. I'm not sure the name of the guy behind the DoubleFine, but how to pronounce it, I'm not sure about that. Something along the lines of Tim Schafer. You probably know him because that's the guy who did stuff like Full Throttle out of all things, and Grim Fandango, and Psychonauts, and a lot of other cool games, really. So I saw when I found Iron Brigade in the internet, I saw, yeah, DoubleFine, Tim Schafer, and this overall looks cool, I gotta try it. And that's why I jumped into it, and in the end of the day, what can I say about it? You see, the best thing in this game is presentation. The plot and the world in which the whole thing happens is simply amazing. It reminds me of all those B-movies, old B-movies from the previous century. If you ever watched stuff like Plan 9 from Outer Space or Attack of 50 Feet Woman, you know, this kind of stuff. Because in this game, here's what happens. One day, a broadcast from out of nowhere, from outer space, hits the Earth, and two guys survive hearing the broadcasts, and they both become geniuses. So American guy creates these walking trenches, and Russian guy, who is pretty much clearly stylized as Rasputin, Russian guy creates television, or as they name it, monovision. And so in this game, huge metal walking battle robots actually fight against the advance of television. It's kind of awesome and silly. And then, after all that, at some point, when you defeat the Rasputin, he actually transfers his consciousness into a bear and leave for Mars. And by the way, here's how you're doing sci-fi, especially if you're doing the previous parody of the previous era sci-fi. First rule, Mars is habitable. We are on Mars right now, and as you can see, it has these strange plants and red grass, and we can breathe without suit. There are also some small, how to say it, some small additional information about the world on the loading screens, albeit modern PCs load the levels so fast you will probably never be able to read those tips. So the only way to read those is to unpack the game files. I unpack the strings from the game files and read them in the, you know, how to say, in the notepad. Among other things, it is stated that there is an unknown chemical in the Mars atmosphere, so it probably can lead to unknown side effects. Overall, the world of the game is amazing, and this is the main selling point of it. DoubleFine definitely has the style, you know. They definitely know their thing, and they do it just fine. DoubleFine. Alright. But really, the sad part is that aside from the setting, there's pretty much nothing in this game to play it for. I mean, maybe if you're a fan of the genre, or if you're playing with 3 other players as it is intended to be played, maybe it is tons of fun, I don't know. Thing is, it is tower defense, and I decided to play it as I usually play such games. I decided to play it alone. And the truth is, 1 playthrough tops. So you follow the plot, you watch all the B-grade silliness going on, all the Martian bears and Cathedral of Saint television happening on the screen, and after that, this is it. This is it. This is all you can get from this game when you are playing it alone. The sad part, though, is that you gotta grind a lot more than just 1 playthrough in order to unlock all the content that the game has, all the content. Obviously, I didn't do that. I hacked the game with the cheat engine because in general, I'm against all kinds of grind. I'm not sure if it would have been fun even if I was with my friends, because it really requires a lot of grind, and RNG drop tables doesn't help it. You can complete the 1 mission over and over again and not get the thing you want, and this is just not fun in my opinion. This is complete opposite of the definition of fun. Especially because missions here are very, you know, well, you can see what's going on the screen. Really, not much. That's tower defense for ya. You just go from place to place and shoot stuff, and it's not even, you know, adrenaline packed like in FPS or TPS shooters. Here it's rather slow, and that's it. That's about it. So once again, I'm not sure if I can even recommend this game to anyone, but you know, but for presentation, because presentation is amazing and the plot is fun. If you like B-movies, that's just amazing. It also kind of reminds me of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because you know, Who Framed Roger Rabbit also had this kind of ridiculing of modern times, when in the end the main villain described that he's going to build the highway, which already exists, but it didn't exist at the time when the movie is set, and so the main character says, who would want this monstrosity? Nobody would want it. So it's kind of the same here with television, because, well, we already passed the era of television, but, you know, you are here fighting the advance of the television, and I don't know, I find it kind of cool. Oh, anyway, I'm just yapping because this mission takes some time, and I now, since I've decided to shoot the video, I gotta to talk about something, right? Anyway, so here's what I've done with the game. I unpacked the files, and first thing I did is I cooked the program which I found on GitHub. As a matter of fact, I didn't even found it. I found a thread on Steam, and this is, by the way, another point of mine why I decided to record the video after all. You see, it looks like this game actually still, well, not popular, but some people are still playing it, and furthermore, some people are modding it. It's not just me. I found a thread on Steam which was quite fresh, and people there tried to do something with the game. And that's where I found that link for the GitHub with the tool, DoubleFine tool, which can be used to unpack files in the DoubleFine games. That, of course, includes Iron Brigade. The tool on the GitHub is uncooked, raw code. So one thing that you can download in the description of this video is DoubleFine tool, which is cooked and ready to use, so you do not have to download Microsoft Visual Studio and compile the file on your own. It's done and ready. And so, I unpacked the files, and I didn't do much changes really, but first thing I decided to do, which I think is imperative if you are going to play this game single player, is that I've added all kinds of turrets to every kind of chassis. Chassis, that's the word, chassis? Every type of robot, let's put it this way. So, as you can see in my in the bottom left corner of the screen, I have 4 turrets, and this is medium chassis, but I have 1 explosive turret, 1 support turret, and 2 light turrets. So yeah, I think this is completely imperative if you're gonna play alone, because otherwise it's just way too hard, especially with heavier robots where you can only take so few turrets and cannot really... It gets fucking hard on the late levels on Mars, especially where there are 3 targets to protect and you have to place turrets everywhere, and those turrets better be good, preferably sniper turrets, but you cannot take them with the heavy robots. So yeah, I fixed that, and now you can take all kinds of turrets with all kinds of robots. Grab it if you need that. The second change I've done is that you can probably see that I have a medium chassis, medium body, and I still have a broadcaster equipped. And as a matter of fact, on my left side I have a 2-slot machine gun, and I still have a machine gun, a 1-slot machine gun under my 2-slot machine gun. That's the second change I've implemented. Just for fun, you know, I didn't really care about any kind of balance or anything. I'm just breaking the game for what it takes. But as you can see, it works rather fine. I'm playing alone. I do not use turrets, but overall it seems rather fair, at least in my eyes. Anyway, the change I implemented is that I made every weapon to occupy only 1 slot. So what you gotta do with it is up to you. I actually did it so I could take cool screenshot of fully equipped robots. I mean, look at this broadcaster, it doesn't look like something that will take 3 slots, right? So I decided, yeah, 1 slot is enough, and I will equip a shotgun under the broadcaster. Works fine for me. But if you want, you can download this mod and equip 3 artillery cannons, or 6 artillery cannons. Just have fun, that's what I've done it for. Once again, I didn't really balance it or anything, but I decided it's a cool option to have. Right? And finally, the last thing I've done is that I've bumped the damage of pretty much all weapons to have the damage of the final weapons. You see, since this is a typical, relatively modern game, it's all about numbers here. So the first machine gun does 1 damage. And then the last machine gun does, say, 20 damage. And thing is, in such games I like to equip items not because of the numbers, but because they look cool. I equip items based on their looks. So I pretty much did every weapon to have less or more equal to every weapon to make it do less or more equal amount of damage. I mostly bumped all the starting weapons to make them more in line with, you know, with the final weapons of the game, so they would be viable on Mars. Of course, it means that all the early missions are now completed with, you know, with 0 effort, but you can just revert that. You can just, at any time, you can just revert the files back to the normal damage and try that mission with 1-slot weapons, but with the default damage. So yeah, versatile stuff. My mods, they do work like that. I've designed this mod in several versions, so you could, so to say, equip different parts of this mod based on your desires. So far I decided to play on Mars, so yeah, I need high damage for my weapons, and so here it is. As you can see, quite playable, and I think the damage overall is rather fair. Overall, the damage is, yeah, it's configured for the late game, for as late game as possible. Probably you can even try do survival with it. It should probably work. Once again, I guess it's the first time I tried to fix damage in a game. Balance, any kind of balancing, is not my thing at all. So I really cannot how to put it. I never did it, and I cannot into balance. I cannot say it more nicely. Balance is not my thing. I'm never balancing things. I'm hacking things, and I'm doing fun things. And I'm telling you this because most of the numbers for the weapons have been pulled out directly out of a dream that I had last night. I really didn't test them. I mean, for broadcaster, I just made all the broadcasters do the maximal damage from the default broadcaster. On the shotguns, on the other hand, I decided that shotguns are a bit too hard hitting, and I nerfed the top shotgun just a little bit, like 10 DPS, and it shouldn't be noticeable or anything. Then for the artillery cannons, I actually made them do massive damage, because it's a one-shot cannon, and after every shot you take seconds to make reload. To make a reload, it takes it takes seconds to reload it, and it doesn't do much damage at all in the default game, and that, quite frankly, pissed me off. So I decided to change that, and I've punched in some massive numbers for artillery cannons. And fun fact, I didn't even test them so far, but as far as I can say, artillery cannons with my numbers, it should be a doomsday device. You know, you pull it and the group of the group of enemies should be gone. And bosses like this should take like 3, maybe 4 shots tops. So yeah, that's what I did with numbers. Overall though, I'm not sure how good they are, but in my opinion it looks good enough. One thing though, in the menu, where you choose the weapons, in the loadout menu, all the numbers are default. I couldn't be fucking arsed to do them because they're in a separate string files. Those numbers of damage, they are not pulled from the information about the weapon. They are pulled from a separate string files, and those string files are laid out very uncomfortably. I do not want even to touch them. So first machine gun still shows damage 1 in the weapon selection menu, when it actually does, I don't know, 18 damage or so. Overall, all the weapons are less or more similar. Their effects are still applied, only damage is changed, so just do not pay attention to the numbers in the menu and it will work. I also include unpacked files of the mod, of all the modifications I've done, so complete with the tool used to unpack the files and the readme to that tool, of course. You can actually do it yourself. Just unpack the files yourself, unpack the default files, then compare files from my mod with the default files. Like say Notepad++ with compare plugin still works great. And this will highlight all the changes I've introduced and will provide for a rather comfortable editing. Definitely much more comfortable than looking for those damage numbers blindly like I did, because I did not have nothing to compare them to, unfortunately. Yeah, but with my files, if you want to try your own hand at rebalancing the damage of the weapons in this game, go ahead, should be fun. Now, as for online playing with this mod, well, I guess it's the default thing, and the default thing means that if you will install this mod and your friend will not install this mod, then you will not be able to connect. However, if you will both use modified files, the games would likely will be able to connect. Albeit, I gotta say, I am not even sure if online is available for this game nowadays. I mean, I'm not sure how the game works. Does it have its own servers? Does it use LAN to connect? Does it use Steam to connect? I have no idea. I didn't even check that, really. So, assuming online is available, it should work like I said, and as long as every PC will have the installed mod, it will work just fine in multiplayer. However, once again, the mod has definitely been tooled towards single-player experience, towards making single-player experience more comfortable. And to make single-player experience even more comfortable, I will actually also provide you a 100% save game with every item unlocked and everything already, you know, rewarded, everything already, all the weapons, items, whatever, everything already dropped, looted, and whatever, you know, it's 100% save game, everything will be in there. And obviously the purpose of this save game is to enable you to comfortably play through this game once, as I've said, to check out the setting without thinking about grinding and unlocking stuff. Just, you know, check out the B-movie, so to say, have some fun, because once again, this game is good for one playthrough. It only becomes boring when you gotta replay the levels again and again. And with all turrets available, you should be able to complete the game rather comfortably. It's, by the way, another problem of this game is that when you complete the game solo with a heavy robot, this is the thing. A lot of levels here, especially late levels, have specific types of enemies, like flying enemies, and you can only take so much turrets and only so much weapons, and you never know if you need an explosive weapon or a flak anti-air weapon, so you can fuck up the whole mission, and then you have to complete it again and change your loadout accordingly. It's, yeah, that kind of stuff. But when you have all kinds of turrets and 4 turrets for every robot, you definitely can take enough weapons for a comfortable playthrough of every mission and to be ready for all situations solo without need to connect to other 3 players. So yeah, if you want to try this game, this mod is just the thing you might want to try along the way. And this is it for today. Thanks for being with me, cats. Stay cool. Good luck.